Our Huskies! Welcome back, students. Exam, spring break, and sleep deprivation had us in the first half, but we're bouncing back. I'm joined by a pair of UCTV Hall of Famers, Hez and Chin. And boy, do we have a show for you tonight. So let's get started. The UConn Huskies have fired Kevin Ollie after a run of 6 seasons. Fellas, starting with Hez, what do you make of Kevin Ollie's legacy?
Honestly, let's start with his pedigree. He had 127 wins and 79 losses in his career, a little over 600. 2 out of his 6 seasons, he made it to the tournament. After his championship season in 2014, he didn't make it in 2015, but he made it in the tournament in 2016. With the squad of Daniel Hamilton, you had Jalen Adams and Rodney Purvis. But now he doesn't have that. He hasn't had that. The only person with tournament experience is Jalen Adams. This team is pretty young, and you think of Alterique Gilbert, he's injured. CV, that's all they have with experience. Everybody else is new. He had 2 losing seasons under 500, 16-17 and 14-18 this past year. Now, he is a player's coach who just couldn't get the job done. But honestly, this investigation, I think he should get paid. He's an old player. He played here. He was a player in the NBA. He comes back to coach, and now they don't have a cause to fire him. So they're trying to find ways to not pay him, and that's wrong. To me, that's wrong.
And Chin?
Just to piggyback on what Hez said, as a former alumni of the school, I think that was disrespectful how they did him. I don't think he should have been fired like that. I think he should have been let go with respect. As an alumni and as a coach who brought a championship to UConn, you know how hard it is to win a championship in college basketball?
Loyola
It's very
Chicago's
difficult.
And that's crazy.
Exactly. Like, I wasn't really a fan of that, especially how UConn Nation jumped off the bandwagon. That's right, UConn Nation. I'm calling y'all out. Y'all hopped off the bandwagon after when the going was bad. So I just think that his legacy, it started off on a high note, but then it started dipping down with a couple of subpar seasons. They just got worse and worse each season. So I mean, it sucks for him, but he did have injuries, and he also had people transferring, which didn't help matters. So he didn't really have that much to work with, but what he had to work with, he didn't do enough. So
you never
get the job done. Yeah, he didn't get the job done.
So what would you guys say is the biggest reason why the overall experiment didn't work out? I mean, and actually thinking about it, I mean, they won a championship, so it's kind of hard to say that it didn't work out, but
it wasn't fresh. It wasn't fresh players. That was old players that Calhoun done had.
Not only that, I think what Ollie's biggest mistake, I think that he started reaching out to too many transfers and figures. One thing I notice about college basketball now is you need these young players straight from high school, these top players in the league. Those are the players that you're going to have an impact on. The 5th years and the grad transfers, they can only do so much, And I think that was his biggest problem. Instead of going out and recruiting, I think he tried to take the easy route with the 5th years and the transfers.
And then, hey, now they've hired Coach Hurley. What are your expectations for them, and Coach Hurley?
I think it's a good hire. He's fresh off of 2 straight NCAA tournament appearances. His dad's a Hall of Fame coach, so of course, he taught his son a little something. He has stints at St. Benedict's Prep. Shout out to Jersey. But and he's known for rebuilding. He was at Wagner, he was at Rhode Island, and they turned out very successful. So, I mean, UConn, it's a different dimension. It's for us, it's more of a championship or bust, because just a couple years ago, we were the basketball capital of the world. So for us, it's a championship or bust. So it'll be interesting to see if he can rebuild on the championship note, rebuild a championship team. So he doesn't really have the championship experience. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if 6 years was, I think 6 years was, was dragging it. I think they should have given him at least like 4 years, but hey, they trust him, and I think he'll do a solid job. But I felt like they rushed the hire too. I felt like because of what's going on with Kevin Ollie, I feel like they needed somebody real quick. So it'll be interesting to see. But from what I'm hearing, a lot of people are excited. UConn Nation's excited now, so it'll be interesting to see.
I'm seeing Hez.
From here on out, it's time to work. This is not only the beginning for him on a new team. This team is about to be fresh too.
Yep.
We lost a lot of players, not big impactors. I'm not saying that at all. But James Akinjo, he decommitted from UConn, but you got to work with what you got.
Yep.
Now, this is going to be Jalen Adams' last season. He has to go off. And the number one thing that Dan Hurley has to do, he has to gain his team's respect first.
Yep.
He's new. He doesn't know him. He needs to get to know them personal. That's one thing KO was good at.
Yep.
He was a player's coach.
Yep.
If he does that, they'll be fine. I think we're all set for something great. I think we'll see something good.
And that's all for now. We'll be heading for a break, but when we return, we'll discuss how much the injuries will affect the title hunt in the NBA. We got 3 Warriors hurt, Kawhi injured, the Cavs and Celtics dealing with injuries. Fellas, is this Houston's year to finally break through, Hez?
Honestly, hopefully. We all know that the history of both James Harden and Chris Paul is shaky.
Yeah,
When's the last time you seen Chris Paul make the Western Conference Finals?
Never.
when is the last time have you seen a non-choker and James Harden in the playoffs? That all comes to factor. Like this is not the regular season. Regular season does not matter. And funny thing about the Spurs, my boy this morning, he had a little epiphany. He said that they're going to make it to the Western Conference Finals, and that's when Kawhi's going to come back. I don't quite believe that. What y'all think about that?
I don't know. I mean, I hope he comes back soon though, because they're still in playoff contention.
Yeah,
anything can happen in the wild west.
There's
anything can
no
happen.
shot they make it. They make it to the Western
that's
Conference
how I
Finals without
felt.
Kawhi.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
don't
shot.
think.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be the Rockets and the Warriors in the Western
But-
Conference.
But honestly, it's the Warriors for the taking. It's redundant, but it's true.
Going back to Nick's first question, though, I personally believe, like Hez said, CP3 has never been to a conference
Never.
final. Harden choked last year, didn't show up. So, although Houston does look very well, like I said, the playoffs is a new season. And you still can't forget about the Thunder.
Yep.
The Thunder,
I think they're a big
their
threat,
bench
yeah.
is kind of shaky,
Yep.
but they have a big 3 in Russ, Melo, and PG.
Is it a big 3 where Melo been at?
No.
They can
No.
play
Score
Where
6
Melo been
points.
at?
I don't want to hear it.
They're
Paul
all
George struggling
superstars.
again?
They're
No,
superstars
Russ.
though.
Yep.
They can get it done.
That's true.
In the
They
playoffs.
can get it done.
Yep.
I still like the Warriors though. It'll be interesting to see if KD can lead a team without Steph. Because I feel like Steph.
It's the first round, though.
Steph is the point guard, so Steph facilitates the offense. One thing I noticed about Steph knows how to get Clay involved.
Yeah.
KD kind of struggles with that, but with Steph, he knows how to get KD and Clay involved.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if KD can lead a team to to the promised land if Steph is out for the playoffs. But if him and Clay come back for the finals, for the playoffs, they'll be fine.
They'll be fine. I just don't think KD could run a team with Steph out rather than Steph with KD out. I think Steph without KD is fine.
I think the Warriors could run.
They're
Yeah.
fine.
Granted, KD is their best player, but Steph is the most pivotal player.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Steph
That's
is the
true.
one that he's the game changer.
Yep.
You know, they have Draymond who gives them that edge.
Yep.
The tough guy
Yeah,
mentality,
tough guy, rough guy.
and then KD got the sniper,
Yeah.
but Steph is the one he facilitates.
He's that guy.
Steph could dribble, penetrate, shoot for 3, pull up,
Yep.
drive. He could do it all. So
And the point you made earlier, he also knows how to get his teammates involved as well.
exactly.
It's the point guard.
That's why
He's the
him and
point
Clay
guard.
are the Splash Bros. There's the Splash Bros for a reason.
But listen, we're not done talking about NBA. MVP. MVP's been a big discussion this year. And you know what? I know he's really quiet right
Oh
now,
my
but I'm going to
gosh.
go with Russell Westbrook MVP. Give him the MVP.
You okay,
25.4 points, 10.2 assists, 9.7 rebounds. He's just 0.3 assists away from averaging another triple-double.
You just said
Wait.
gibberish, bro.
Okay, so he won the triple. He averaged a triple-double last
It
year,
doesn't
right?
matter.
He
He's
averaged a
not
triple-double last
getting
year,
it
and
again.
he got MVP.
He's not getting it again.
He's having a better season this year than he did last year.
He actually averaged a triple-double last year.
He 0.3.
See, my
0.3
problem.
assists.
Go ahead, Chip.
My problem with that, first off, my MVP for right now is James Harden. James Harden is playing out of
Facts.
this world right now.
Facts.
James Harden, the Rockets have the best record in the league.
Yup.
James Harden has the best plus
16 and
minus
14.
in
Facts.
the league this year.
16 and 14.
In the league this year. He's playing out of his mind right now. The reason why I have a problem with Westbrook, I feel like Westbrook doesn't really make his team better.
No.
That's my problem with Westbrook.
Nope.
That's my problem with Westbrook. And that's why I'm proposing to the NBA, you guys should come out with an offensive player of the year. Make an offensive player of the year and defensive player.
True.
Because James Harden got robbed for MVP last year. I
I
strongly
didn't think he
believe
deserved
that.
it. I didn't think he deserved it last year.
Westbrook played out of his mind.
triple-double.
He did. But James Harden's team had the better record, and James Harden made his team better. I rest my case.
How did Westbrook not make his team better? Their team was awful.
He got them to 6 in the West. That's solid, but that's not. I don't know. I think I truly believe he got that MVP.
He led the league in scoring,
and
and it was second in assists.
Triple doubles.
And
Harden
he got average it again. He had 41 triple doubles. 41. Half the season, he had 41 triple doubles.
Russell Westbrook. I'm going with the beard too. He's averaging 30 points per game, 5.5 rebounds per game, and
30, which is a
8.7
career high.
assists.
30 is a career
Exactly.
high too.
While shooting 44% from the field. What's Westbrook?
He's going. You know what?
I don't want to hear it. He is cooking. Have you seen what he did to Wesley Johnson?
Stop it.
Did you see?
Please, Wesley Johnson. We're still praying for him. We're
Still.
still praying for him.
Yeah, his ankles.
To the people that think he deserved it last year as Chin, he getting it this year, bro. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And second runner-up
Oh man.
is old man Rivers LeBron James.
LeBron, get out of here.
Let's go. He's close to second in my opinion. The man is in his 15th season, but it damn sure does not look like it. He just baptized Nurkic
Again. Put
on
him
national
under.
television.
Put him under.
He's 33 years old, almost averaging a triple-double. Who is stopping LeBron in this league? Nobody.
So wait, hold up.
I don't need no answers. Nobody.
So we're saying we're hyping up LeBron because he's almost averaging triple double, but Westbrook is 0.3
bro.
away from a triple double.
Bro, who could guard LeBron?
Who can guard Westbrook?
Everyone.
Stop it.
They could try and guard him.
MVP
Stop.
is
Boy,
most
MVP.
valuable player.
Exactly.
It's not most dynamic player.
Exactly.
If it's most dynamic, then it's
Yeah,
better
I was
than
saying
us,
that.
you know.
I'm a
But
death row for
LeBron is up there though.
Bro,
LeBron is playing
LeBron's
out of
up
his
there.
mind at year 15.
15. 33
You have to
years
put that
old.
into equation.
33.
Year
He's
15.
33. He not old
Year
yet like you old
15.
man.
Boy, he's
15
already
year
been
in
in
the
the
league.
league 15.
Jordan wasn't even
He
doing
when
this
he was
since 15th
17.
year in the league.
Exactly.
Jordan, when he was 33, was giving people 25.
LeBron is doing way better than that.
All right, I'm done with all this LeBron talk. We'll be heading into our final break, and when we come back, is Geno the best coach ever?
He definitely is.
You gonna be what you be. Hey, say what you wanna do with your life. Say.
He's won 111 straight games, reached 25 straight Sweet 16s, and 11 national championships. With all the accolades, continued dominance, and incredible consistency, Geno has managed to separate himself and stake his claim as the greatest coach in all of sports. Yet, his name is often glossed over in this particular debate. Hez, starting with you, why?
I don't get it. I feel like since he's successful at coaching women's basketball, people hate on him. He just blew out St. Francis 140 to 52. And people still, you don't know how hard it is to be successful.
Yep.
To have a successful program, that is hard. Listen to this. Gabby Williams and Kia Nurse have only lost 2 games their whole college career. Who can say that? People lose that in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Not even 2 weeks, a week.
Yep.
Katie Lou lost 1. It doesn't make any sense. He has over 1,000 wins and only 135 losses in his 33 seasons of coaching.
That's crazy.
Bro.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry, it doesn't even make sense. 11 national titles, 18 Final Fours, 7 perfect seasons, about to be 8.
Yep.
24 conference titles. He's the fastest coach to ever reach 1,000. The fastest. He's behind Hall of Famers Pat Summitt and Tara Vanderveer for most wins in women's NCAA history. How can you hate on that? I don't get it.
And Chen, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's simple. Women's basketball doesn't get enough credit.
That's
There's
true.
people out there that feel like UConn's women's basketball team ruins
It makes
basketball,
no
which
sense.
is
I don't understand.
absurd.
It makes no sense.
I saw a tweet on that the other day, and I was like, "Are you
New
kidding
York
me?
Times, I read
Are you
it.
kidding me?"
Crazy.
Anybody who feels that way is 100% wrong. This man, Geno Auriemma, is a genius.
Yep.
Genius.
Watching him when I was covering the AAC tournament, just watching him and how he and how his system is in play and his system doesn't get broken is crazy. UConn could beat you from the inside, outside. Consistently.
Yep.
How their film is for tonight's game will be the same film from the first game they
Yup.
played. They don't. They
Consistency.
play the same game every night in and night out. They're really consistent. Their ability to facilitate, get everybody involved. Everybody knows what to do at any given time. It's crazy. Geno Auriemma is a genius, and for him to do this for this long,
Exactly.
he doesn't get enough credit at all.
And you think about it,
he's
too.
he's one of the best coaches I ever seen in my life.
Sorry, you think about it too, and he's gone through so many different types of great players as well too. One year he has Maya Moore, and then one year he has Breonna Stewart, and then one year he has Kia Nurse and Gabby Williams. Like his ability to adapt and change styles, and
Different play
moving in
styles.
from zone to full court trapping too. Like his
a
ability
genius.
to
He's
adapt
smart.
and change. Yeah, it's been why he's been so great, and
That gives him the edge.
It sucks for him not to get
Enough credit.
the credit that he deserves.
That gives them the edge. One thing I notice about them, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
One thing I notice about them is that with other teams just have one game plan that they stick to.
Yeah.
So I don't even so a team like USC,
Yep.
they have that inside presence, so they run the offense through Asia Wilson.
Yep.
So they're more into feeding the inside.
Yep.
So with UConn, once they take that away from teams,
Yep. They just
they don't know what to do. They don't have another game plan to go to.
true.
But with UConn, what gives them the edge and what gives Geno the edge is that he has multiple
Pieces.
ways to beat you.
Yep.
If you're defending the
paint,
outside,
the
and
type
you're cutting that off,
They're
you feed it
attacking.
inside
Gabby
to
Williams.
Big Z, Gabby
Yup.
Williams.
Yup.
If you're
Attacking.
shutting them down, then he'll go to Kia Nurse and then Katie Lou
Crystal.
Samuelson and
Yep.
Crystal will
5
give
for
you a
5
bucket.
tonight. Going off.
Exactly.
Right
So
now.
From deep.
he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal.
Gotta
Shout out
give
to the Lady
respect where it's
Huskies
due.
for real.
Shout out. Go get
Respect.
that
Thank
ring.
you.
ladies.
Get that
Go
ring so we
do
can
it.
celebrate.
And that's a wrap. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to follow our page and view even more of our content. Also, be on the lookout for fan polls as well to see if your tweets will be shown on the broadcast. And before we get out of here, I would like to congratulate the UConn All-Star Step Team on winning first place in their dance competition at the University of Albany. You ladies crushed it out there, and congratulations on bringing the
Congrats.
trophy home.
Jazzy.
That's all from the studio. Thank you again, and have a great week. We can just go. He won 111 straight games. 11 straight games. 11 straight games. Damn, that end was smooth, yo. Five.
That was good.
Five.